I'm Jacob,
I'm Yuri,
and we're going for a drive.
'21 Rolls-Royce
Ghost without launch control, brake boost. Oh my god. Effortless thrust.
Okay, that was the weirdest thing because it was a hard launch, but it was very comfortable.
Yeah, that was really quick.
Horsepower and torque.
563 horsepower, 627 pound-feet of torque from a twin turbo 6.75 liter V12.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool down there under the hood, doesn't it?
It really does, and I really don't feel like screaming today, Yuri.
Okay.
So this is clearly not the Phantom. The Phantom's the big boy. This is the one slightly below it. Yuri, where does this lie in the entire Rolls-Royce lineup?
So I believe this is the driver's version of a Rolls-Royce, so that you want to drive this more than you want to be driven in it. And I'm pretty sure that it's the easiest way to enter into the Rolls-Royce besides also a Cullinan.
When you say easiest, do you mean lowest price?
Yeah, the lowest amount of money you have to make to buy a Rolls-Royce.
And if you're new to the channel and this is the first video that you're watching, consider subscribing because we really like reviewing Rolls-Royces.
Yeah, and we review every car in the same fashion, so you'll be able to compare a Rolls-Royce to a Nissan Sentra, to the new M4, to all kinds of crazy stuff on the same roads.
Okay, so this new Ghost is all new for 2021. It is post-opulence. That is the theme of this vehicle. So basically, kind of what that means, they want like no frills, all the technology without being overly complicated, but still have all of the features without all of the ostentatiousness of the Phantom.
Yeah, the Rolls-Royce guy was telling us that there's no quilted stuff in here. It's all sleek and like simple lines everywhere.
Yeah, it's a very simple interior. There's no extra stuff that you don't need.
Yeah, lots of clean lines, lots of single stitches all the way across everything. It's not very ornamental besides these little Rolls-Royce imprints of the Spirit of Ecstasy on like a lot of different surfaces, which I really, really, really like.
I mean, this is pretty extra, but in comparison to other vehicles in this class at this price point, the only one I can really think of would be the Bentley Flying Spur. This doesn't have kind of that level of ostentatiousness that one would have.
Yeah, I haven't really been in a Bentley. I've seen them, but
I'm looking at photos as well.
I don't really know what the whole Bentley vibe's about.
It's kind of like this, but not.
But more race car-ish? Because they have like a bunch of race car versions, right?
Yeah, but like a Flying Spur is not a race car version.
Man, until I drive the brand, I don't really look into it.
So since we are in the driver's version, I'm going to send this into Cliche Corner and okay, lots of body roll, but the suspension I'll get to in a moment. I love how this thing handles. It's actually incredible. It feels like a boat, but like it makes me miss my jet ski because I just get jet ski boat vibes from this thing because it kind of absorbs everything. It wallows everywhere, but at the same time, it feels planted. It's a very interesting feeling.
It's like if you're on a roller coaster with air ride suspension seats or something.
Yes, so this has Rolls-Royce's Magic Carpet Ride, but this has a world's first suspension thing where basically the suspension in the front has suspension for the suspension. And it's basically extra comfortable because we also have the camera that watches the road and we also have sensors that are watching everything a million times a second up to 100 kilometers per hour where it's pre-adjusting the suspension.
Yeah, and you can definitely see the suspension doing a lot when you hit the brakes. You can just see so much movement and like softness, which is pretty cool. And then I think it also has GPS that tells if like a road's getting curvy and elevation, so it knows how to stiffen up the car or soften it up.
The GPS is actually tied to the transmission, so it'll pre-downshift because it'll know you're at Cliche Corner and it'll know you want to send.
Okay, yeah. The cool technology, Rolls-Royce.
Yeah, but other cars have that as well. I'm not saying it's exclusive.
And I love that in the press footage for this, the guy driving the car was driving it like a real person would drive a car. Yeah,
like
do the
this?
pose.
Yeah.
And then he was doing the U-turns with just that, or the hand sliding around.
I would have done that.
That was the coolest driving press footage ever because it was so realistic.
But the actual feeling of driving this is insane. It's just the most comfortable car I've ever driven, like in my life. It is so quiet in here, so comfortable. This steering wheel is literally effortless.
Yeah, the comfort is really nice. We're going on some bumpy roads around the Cliche Corner area, and I passed through them, and I'm like, oh, wait a second. I didn't remember it being bumpy, and that was like the first time ever.
Yeah, and sorry, I'm just going to start driving like this. I'm just going to floor it. Dude, it just keeps going.
Wow. Yeah, this is fast. This is real. Well, I mean, it has to be fast, but this is like really, really fast.
Yeah, and it's also a ZF 8-speed, but you pretty much almost don't feel any of the shifts.
Yeah, okay, go like half.
There's
you can hear it, but you don't feel it.
Exactly, which is crazy.
Okay, and then apparently they made this car so quiet that it got like eerily quiet, so they had to add some baffles in the trunk to add some more air through, so it didn't feel like a spooky car with no sound.
Yeah, because they tested it and people felt sick being in the car because it was too quiet, so they actually had to add noise back in.
Yeah, there is a thing where there's the most quietest room in the world and people can't stay in there for more than 10 minutes because you can hear your own blood and it's like really creepy. I do want to go there one day.
That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah.
They should have made this with that, at least option it. And so back to this actual Ghost and what it is on an all-new platform. It is the same platform as the Phantom and the Cullinan, which are on their unique platform. They're not shared with the BMW 7 Series or anything like that. And the only things that carry it over from the first-gen Ghost is the Spirit of Ecstasy and the umbrellas in the doors.
And the first-gen Ghost came out in 2009.
Yes.
And this is also the first Ghost with all-wheel drive.
Yes, and also has all-wheel steering. And I mean, it really helps in parking lots and stuff like that, because we drove the Cullinan, definitely felt a little bit big. This feels small, even though it's a huge sedan.
Okay, let's put it into sport mode. Oh, we can't. Let's shift the gears. Oh, we can. What RPM are we on the tack? We don't know.
Power reserve, bro.
That's the whole point of Rolls-Royce. They're like, don't worry about it. We got this nice car that's simple and chill. Have fun.
Yeah, there's nothing to it. It's so simple. Like, okay, there's a lot to it, but it's also simplified. And the general feeling that you get driving this thing, like, you just literally, that guy broke that guy's neck. Like, you literally feel so rich driving this. It's insane how cool it makes you feel.
Yeah, I mean, having the Spirit of Ecstasy at the front is
and what can we do with that, Yuri?
You can make it go up and down. You can program it to one of your 8 presets, which is pretty cool. I think we have set it up as number 8. And this is, I guess, the first one that is in the hood and not in the space in front of it. So when you pop the hood, it like sneaks away.
So there's a lot to address in this interior, but let's talk about the exterior first.
I think the most controversial part is from the front end. If you look at the bumper on the bottom right and bottom left, it kind of curls up.
Yeah, and I wasn't sure about it from the photos, but seeing it in person definitely helps.
Yeah, in person, it looks a lot better. It's still probably not my favorite Rolls-Royce front end, but it does look really nice.
I definitely prefer the Phantom over this, but who am I to really choose?
I like the Cullinan a lot, but I think I just like having a Rolls-Royce that would be gigantic.
Yeah, I get that.
And then we got really, really cool headlights, and if you're in auto, they're brighter. If you're in parking light mode, they're a little dimmer, and then in full headlight mode, they're also still very nice.
And what this also has, which we can't see during the day, the grille actually glows. So there's a strip of LEDs at the top of the grille, and apparently during development and testing, it was too bright. So they actually had to brush the back of the metal bars to make it a little bit more matte to get the exact ambiance they were looking for.
Why don't they just turn down the lights?
Look, man.
They could charge more money this way.
Exactly, yeah. Because then I can tell the story now.
Yeah. And then from the side view, it still looks like a Rolls-Royce. It kind of like tapers down at the back, and it's like really like strong and straight at the front.
But they straightened it all out and made it kind of harder lines than the previous Ghost, and I think that looks way better.
And what's cool about this is we've got a purple pinstripe that goes all the way across, which matches the stuff on the interior. Like this door, when you open it, the purple pops so hard, and then we've got some teal above it to counter it. I think it looks really great, but yeah, that little purple strip, it's nice.
And all 4 doors do automatically open and close. You just touch the button on the outside to close them, and when you're inside, there's a little door button in the back, and in the front, there's 2 buttons in the center console.
Yeah, it's very luxury, but is it more convenient than in the Teslas when you put your foot on the brake pedal and it closes? I feel like that's more convenient, but this is more ballin', like having a button is like pretty cool.
Yeah, the brake pedal thing is pretty genius though.
And then we've got some awesome Rolls-Royce wheels. I'm pretty sure every single Rolls-Royce wheel is awesome. I don't think I've seen one that I don't like. And we've got the anti-spinners, zero gravity spinners.
Yeah, so you always see the Rolls-Royce logo. I really do like these wheels. These are the optional 21-inch wheels, and you should just option the largest wheels you can because clearly it does not affect the ride quality.
Okay, and what would be the Continental recommended tire for a Rolls-Royce Ghost?
The Conti Sport Contact 5. And moving around to the back end, we do have the traditional outlined taillights, but they've kind of like contoured them more.
I really like the way the whole back tapers in and like rounds off. You were saying it looks kind of like a boat, a yacht, maybe one of those like wooden speedboat things.
Yeah, I mean everything in Rolls-Royce is kind of like yacht-like.
Okay, when we open the trunk, there is a ton of room for our bags, and it's so nicely carpeted in there. I really, really like that.
Yeah, it's really nice back there. But speaking of the trunk closed, we also have exhaust finishers in chrome, which is an option on this car, and that option alone costs more than my Fox Body Mustang.
Not my favorite exhaust tip look.
It's 2021 real.
You can kind of see to the back a little too much, but like whatever.
Yeah, well that actual thing costs a lot of money.
Like I think I'm the only person to like judge an exhaust tip on a Rolls-Royce.
No.
No other person would do that.
You and I. We might as well listen to it from the outside.
The outside.
Very quiet.
And how about from the inside?
Still very quiet. And before you drive and talk about this entire interior, which we haven't really touched on, The cheapest part of this entire interior.
You mean least expensive?
Thank you. Least expensive part of this interior that I feel from the driver's seat is this turnstock, but you're probably not going to use it anyways.
It doesn't have a cost to it, or it's cheap?
It's just, it feels cheap.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like that could be a carryover part from another car.
I don't even think it's like that, but maybe it feels more car than the rest of this car.
Yeah, okay. Everything else from the car feels like a fancy house.
Exactly. Now let's get you into the driver's seat. Just going to close my own door.
I could have closed that for you.
Wish you did. Should I go in the back?
That would be the cliche thing to do. Even though we're at Cliche Corner, we're not going to do that.
Okay.
But maybe we should wear suits, eh? Just kidding. That's also too cliche. I wore my Teddy Fresh hoodie because Ethan just got a Rolls-Royce, so shout out Ethan.
I wore this shirt. That's it.
I'm going to ease into it.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Okay, I was like to the floor there, and even that shift felt really smooth.
Yeah, like that just put my neck back.
It's kind of weird not having like a sport mode or launch control or any like adjustment here.
It's nice though. Like there's no thinking.
And going through the twisties right before Cliche Corner, like it feels nimble considering how big and fast this is. It's just like the most weird feeling for a big car to be this quick.
Yeah, and when we say nimble and this handles well, we don't mean in reference to a 911 GT3. Like we mean in reference to something of this size and class. Like this is almost the size of a truck.
All right, now for a real Cliche Corner. Just point the Spirit of Ecstasy where you want it to go, right?
That's right. Use that as a reticle.
I mean, okay, it does feel like a little big. Like I don't want to get too deep into it, but yeah.
I've got all-wheel steering.
Yeah, I don't know. I was trying to feel it there. Didn't really notice it.
I honestly notice it the most in parking lots.
Okay, and then going up that one bump on the uphill in this, very, very comfortable.
Yes, extremely.
Let us know if you've hit that bump, if you've been to Cliche Corner. So now this interior, we've got all white everywhere. We've got this really cool dark black wood. I haven't seen anything like this. This is obviously much nicer than what Mercedes offers.
By the way, some of this wood pour, and I'm not saying all of it, is more expensive than your Honda Civic.
Yeah.
Just saying.
And then we've got purple stitching on the seats too, like right here with the RR. I love it. It's such
got it up on the dash here, and it's all hand stitched as well.
It's such a good mix. And then this whole perforated headliner with the stars in it is also very cool. And apparently there can be a shooting star that comes across every now and then.
Yeah, so maybe if you guys are watching this video, maybe there was a shooting star at some point in this video.
Yeah.
So let us know if you saw that at any point, because it just randomly happens. And we can control it with this button up here, and you can make it brighter or darker.
And sitting in the passenger seat, do you enjoy looking at this reflection of yourself the whole time?
I actually do. It's just like, I wish there was like money painted on this or something like that.
Okay, explain this panel to me.
Okay, so it says Ghost in it. It lights up sometimes, and it has over 90,000 laser etched dots in it, which apparently took over 2 years and over 10,000 hours to develop this.
Yeah, it's cool. I bet you Rolls-Royce has like 10 guys working on crazy stuff, whatever they want, and be like, when it's done, we'll introduce it. It'll be good. Don't worry about it.
Probably, because I mean, it looks pretty cool, and we'll show you guys at night, but it's a cool feature.
Okay, next to it, we got Rolls-Royce Goodwood and the clock. Very nice. And then we've got our infotainment and gauge cluster. So our gauge cluster, it's digital, but it looks analog, and then, you know, no tack, but we have power reserve. So when you're off, it's at 100, and when you floor it,
goes down to 0 eventually.
When it has no power reserve left when you're fully ripping it. And this doesn't have the radar cruise lane keep stuff that we like in all the new BMWs, but it does have just regular radar cruise.
Yes, it does, Yuri. It's called the chauffeur.
Yeah, but then this is the driver one, right?
Yeah.
Okay, our infotainment, it is an older style BMW that is obviously reskinned and like changed up a bit for Rolls-Royce. But I feel like this one is way, way faster than anything BMW ever offered. Like going through the menus, they probably added extra RAM for this to make sure the customers were extra happy.
Yes, and speaking of extra happy customers, we do have Apple CarPlay. It is wireless. There is no Android Auto, but I feel like they may add it at some point because I think they had it in other Rolls-Royces.
Okay, and then we do have the 360 cameras and everything in here, just like all the other ones where you see the car all the way around, which is pretty cool. And then we still do have time shift in here, which is nice for rewinding your sat radios.
No, that's pretty good.
The sound system?
It's pretty crazy. It's over $10,000.
It's so nuts. It's so clear no matter how loud you go, but you really can't get past 75% without hurting your ears because it's just, but it's still clear.
It's still clear. Like, you can handle that.
You crank it and go outside, keep the doors open or something.
Pretty much. And the speaker vents themselves look amazing. All the materials are here are obviously like next level. Like everything that looks metal is metal. Everything that looks like wood was probably chopped down in a forest somewhere.
And then these vents, they said that the noise of the wind, of the air was a little too loud, so they added felt on the inside to make it quieter. which I believe it is kind of loud, but I think it's only loud because this car is so quiet. And we do have cup holders, which I'm sure will fit a cup of coffee. I'm not gonna bring any food into this.
So, we didn't buy the car. We bought Wendy's, and now we're eating it in the car. Chicken nugs!
I'm Ethan, and this is Trisha.
How's it going?
And then we should do the visor test.
Very carefully.
Ethan, if you're watching this, check if your Cullinan can do this. 3, 2, 1. Okay, it doesn't extend.
The Cullinan did.
The Cullinan did.
So that's a fail. Well,
Aww.
man.
Okay, I'm gonna floor it.
Okay. I went through 2 gears. Jeez. Okay. So
I love Twin Turbo V12s.
Yes. Redeemed itself for the visor test.
Okay, seats. We do have massage seats, and they're like fully adjustable and everything.
And they're so comfortable. Like, you don't really need any extra bolstering, but I feel like because of the material, I'm held in the seats really well.
But I feel like this headrest isn't as soft as that 7 Series headrest that one time.
Right, I know what you're saying. But you could probably option that, because we do have additional option ones in the back, which are extra soft back there. We should probably start talking about the back now.
Okay. It is very luxurious back there. There's enough room for you at 6 foot 1.5.
Absolutely, Yuri. I could be 12 feet and it'd be still fine. Maybe not. There is an extended wheelbase version though. They are extremely comfortable. They have massages. They're heated and cooled. We also have tray tables and our own infotainments back there. They kind of just display certain things that we can see in the front as well.
Okay, so again, this infotainment at the front, you control it with this rotary dial as well as a touch screen. But the back one, you pop up the little thing in the armrest, and there's a rotary dial there as well, which is like such a cool little surprise.
Yes, and then you can also put away your infotainment and leave your tray tables out and enjoy some drinks, because yes, we do have a fridge back there with some champagne flutes.
I don't see any Rolls-Royce not having that.
Yeah, I agree. Like,
I'm not surprised by that one bit.
If you've bought a Rolls-Royce and you bought it brand new and you didn't option those, let us know in the comments as to why you did that.
Okay, and then when you open the doors and close the doors, there's these door pulls right here for every single door up at the top, which is cool. And then all the doors are electrically assisted if you don't want to actually just push the button to close it.
Yeah, so it's really light to actually open them because there's like a motor in there. There's even gyroscopes in there, because if you're on an incline or a decline, it'll actually adjust the speed that the motor operates. It's nuts.
But the surprising thing is with this one, no peasant blockers back there, no curtains, no rear shade.
Yeah.
I don't get why it doesn't have it.
I'm surprised at the spec, because you can get all that stuff, but I guess because it's the driver's car, they didn't option this one with it.
Yeah.
But like, you gotta get that stuff.
Yeah. I don't know. You know what? I mean, the only Rolls-Royce I'd buy is a used one, because I don't have the money for this. But in the future, if I ever did, I would just kind of have to like take whatever they got me, right?
Yeah, well, I tried to buy Hoovies, but it went for even more money than I was expecting. So maybe eventually I'll buy a Gen 1 Phantom.
All the window switch buttons are very luxurious feeling. The mirror control knob, that is also very nice. Every single button is just so luxurious in here. And then lastly, the carpet in the whole car is very nice, all the upholstery at the bottom. But lucky for us, Rolls-Royce gave us some floor mats so that we wouldn't get any of this dirty. But we did have shoe booties ready just in case.
Yeah, just in case, because, you know, you don't want to dirty this up because we can't afford to.
Okay, so is that pretty much everything with the Rolls-Royce Ghost?
I'd say so.
We should probably get to the price. Let me guess, this one's a lot of money?
Yeah, you're a good one. Okay, it's probably in the title of the video, maybe not, who knows. This one starts at $343,140
Canadian.
And this one with $117,934 in options is $461,074.
Honestly, not even that expensive for a Rolls-Royce.
That's about 92 Fox body Mustangs, the one that I bought specifically.
I get it. It's cool. I feel like this compared to the Cullinan, it feels kind of similar.
Why don't you ask me if I'd rather have 92 Fox body Mustangs or this?
I know you'd rather have this.
I would.
Okay, but this compared to that Cullinan we reviewed, which we reviewed like 2 years ago, but since our format is always very similar, you can watch it back and compare it directly for yourself. So subscribe to our channel if you like to compare cars filmed in the same way.
So this versus the Cullinan, I kind of like how large the Cullinan is, and I like the ostentatiousness of that and the Phantom more than this, I think.
I would personally go Cullinan. I'm a fan of SUVs, and especially like a Rolls-Royce SUV. I think that's like very, very cool.
And I like that rappers are rapping about it, but like Ghost is also a sick name, and I love how this looks now as well.
But if we're talking about cars instead of SUVs from Rolls-Royce, I would definitely go with a Wraith or a Dawn, just because I think a two-door is so much cooler.
I think I would go with a Phantom Drophead, which I don't think they make anymore, but man, that was cool.
So all that really matters to end off the video is I want to know which one of our viewers actually own Rolls-Royces or Rollers, whatever the plural is. hit me up at Yuri Tereshin on Instagram and tag me so I can repost it, and then also follow Jacob at TheStraightPipes.
Tag me too, because how many people could possibly own Rolls-Royce if I watch their video?
I think on the day this gets posted, we're going to have 20 viewers who own Rolls-Royces.
Okay, so follow up on Instagram. We'll see if Yuri was correct.
And what's your guess? What do you guess? Plus 50 plus? Or
I'm going to go with like 10.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think I can repost 10.
If it's under 15, you win. If it's over 15, I win.
Also, it has to be a photo, so you can't like make it up. No press photos, no like...
Or video.
Yeah, photo or video. We'll repost that.
Rolls-Royce gang.
And watch our Cullinan review.